Hello, boys and girls, it's Mr. Vade. During this brief lesson, I'd like to acquaint you with the Quadrant Grid. What you see over here that I'm outlining is all a quadrant grid. And let's study some vocabulary right now. It is made up of two axes. The x-axis, that's the singular form of axes, the x-axis, and it's made up of the y-axis. Take a look and tell me or at least tell yourself, what do you notice about the way the axes are set up? This is your x-axis, and this is your y-axis. Well, if you didn't notice that on the x-axis, the numbers to the left of the 0 are all negative, and on the x-axis, the numbers to the right of the 0 are all positive. And look at the y-axis now. The numbers above 0 are all positive. The numbers below 0 are all negative. The 0 at the center is called the origin. This entire thing again is called a quadrant grid. And you're probably wondering what these Roman numerals and numbers are for. Each of these numbers represents the name of the quadrant. Right here, this is all quadrant 1. Tell me something, or tell yourself rather. What kind of coordinate pair would you need to write to get a value in quadrant, or to mark a coordinate in coordinate 1? This is all of, to mark a coordinate in quadrant 1. This is all quadrant number 2. Everything that is graphed in this quadrant is considered to be in quadrant 2. Everything that's graphed in this quadrant is considered to be in quadrant 1. And so forth, all of this, everything that's graphed in here is quadrant 3, and everything that's graphed in this quadrant that I'm making right now is quadrant 4. I want you to try to realize something here. Let's go to quadrant 1. Do you realize that only positive numbers can be graphed in quadrant 1? Don't believe me? Let's try this. Let's look for an x-coordinate on the x-axis that's in quadrant 1. 5. Okay, I'll begin writing that. 5. I'll write it here. Parentheses. 5 will be the coordinate on the x-axis. That's the 5. Now we'll pick a coordinate on the y-axis. I'll pick 9. That's 9 on the y-axis. Not -9, but 9. And I'm writing it over here. So now I've created a coordinate pair. 5, 9. And I'm going to mark it with a coordinate. A coordinate is just, 5 on the x-axis, 9 on the y-axis. A coordinate is just the marking or the point on the actual grid. You see, 5, 9 can only reside or live in the first quadrant. Only positive numbers can live in the first quadrant, and here's why. Because in the first quadrant, you were using only positive numbers on the x-axis and positive numbers on the y-axis. If you look at quadrant number 4, let's look at quadrant number 3, right here. Only negative numbers can be placed on the x and y coordinate pair if you're trying to mark something in coordinate 3. If you don't believe me, watch. I'm just going to put this coordinate in any random spot. Right here. Well, what coordinate pair makes this coordinate? Let's see. I'm going to start on my x-axis first. That appears to be -8 on the x-axis. And then it goes all the way down to, from -8, it goes down to -7. And now I've created -8, -7 right here. All coordinates in this quadrant will be negative numbers. You'll have a negative x-axis and a negative y-axis number. Opposite of quadrant 1, both positives. Positive x-axis, positive y-axis number. These are called coordinates, 5 and 9. 5 is an x-axis coordinate because it comes first. 9 is a y-axis coordinate because it comes second. Same thing here. -8 is x because it's listed first. -7 is y because it's listed second. Finally, let's take a look at one other quadrant. Let's take a look at quadrant 2. Quadrant 2, I'll mark a coordinate right here. You'll notice I'll start with my x-axis because we always start with the x-axis. And the x-axis number where this smiley face will intersect with the y, it starts with -3 on the x. It goes up to 7 on the y. Coordinate pairs in quadrant 2 will be a negative x-axis value with a positive y-axis, and it will look like this. A negative x, -3, and a positive y, +7. Stay tuned for the next video, upcoming. Thanks.